Let's get back to Barnaby, though. Barnaby, let's talk about this net zero.
I always wanted to bump off Donald Trump.
Yeah, you did. There you go. Let's get back here because I want... Okay, bear with me. This is my question. If you get rid of net zero, what practically happens? Can you see another coal-fired power station being built, therefore cheaper and reliable fuel? So. Hang on, who's going to build it though? But also, if Labor remain in power for perhaps the next 2 terms, and if you get rid of net zero, what does it say to these inner city seats that obviously want to see net zero remain? I mean, you need to get back in a position where your Liberal partners can win enough seats to actually form a party of government, right? So, I mean, I know that would weigh on you. You don't represent that seat, absolutely not. But that's surely part of your consideration, is it not?
Okay, well, let's go through that.
Please.
First of all, I heard Andrew Connell was saying before, like, oh, you've already got those seats in the country, so you don't have to worry about them. My gosh, use that attitude. We won't even have those seats in the country for much longer either. What you've got to understand is that our role when we come down to Canberra is to represent the people who sent us there, and actually that is your electorate. Now, we are being torn apart by transmission lines, solar panels. Under Regulation 2.8 on my LPA agreement, I can't graze near a wind tower. This idea of happy sheep and happy cattle, I'm not allowed to graze near them because you're not supposed to eat the meat if I do. Now, all these things are communities not torn down the middle, torn 10% to 90%. 90% who hate it, 10% who are probably making a little bit of money out of it. The fact that and power prices for pensioners going through the roof, transmission lines going through our places.
I'm trying to understand what the realistic outcome of this. Do you think all these transmission lines don't go ahead? We have no renewable power, and we go back to coal. Is that really what it is?
And first of all, it's not renewable. It's intermittent. That's a nomenclature that we should use.
Well, you can call it whatever you like.
They're not farms. The intermittent power precincts and there's intermittent power. So what the head of the serpent on this is net zero. It's trying to attain this crazy idea that Australia by itself, because remember, China's not doing this.
I get that, Barnaby,
India's not doing it.
What's the practical outcome of it? What's the energy mix, though? What's the ideal energy mix? If you get rid of net zero, then what does our energy system look like?
So what's the point of us doing this if the rest of the majority of the world, majority of the economies of the world are not doing it?
But isn't that an important question to answer, though? When you sit here and say get rid of net zero, I don't care about some arbitrary target. I want to know what you think our energy mix should look like. Yeah,
we should have more baseload power. Yes, you should have more coal-fired power stations. You should contend with nuclear. You already have intermittence. You have, as Bowen himself says, you've got about 42% intermittence. If you talk to electrical engineers, they say it really becomes unviable, starts falling off its perch after about 30% intermittence. So you already do have intermittence. And what I'm saying is if you go around this crazy idea that you're going to have net zero, we might as well turn off the lights and live in a cave. It's not going to work. And this idea of 82% intermittence by 2030, this is insane. You've had programs out. It said, 7% of Victoria's got to be covered in solar panels?
Victoria's a basket case. Absolutely.
This is insanity.
I agree with you. So
why are we doing this to ourselves?
Well, I'm asking you what you think the energy mix should be at. So should it be 80% coal? Should it be 20% renewables? I mean, do you abide any renewables in the system?
I think you've already got intermittents and not renewables. They end up as landfill.
Okay, let's call them intermittent.
It's not renewables.
Intermittent power.
Should there be any intermittent power already in there? The intermittent power, and the more intermittent power we're getting, Laura, everybody acknowledges. Here's the only thing you know is the truth: is your power bill. The more intermittent power we're getting, the higher your power bill is going. Do you want how high do you want your power bill to go? How unreliable do you want your economy to be? How much do you want to shell out and deindustrialise our nation?
I get that.
I would say you've done enough of that.
But we're at this point. It's also going to cost a shed load of money, as you know, to prop up coal or build a coal-fired set. Yep, it is. It is already costing.
We don't.
But they're aging.
We don't have
coal-fired
capacity
power systems are aging. So who's going to pay for that? Taxpayers are going to have to pay at some point. Yeah.
Laura, if intermittent power is so cheap and so pure and has such veracity, why do we need secret capacity investment schemes, which you in the Fourth Estate have never got the details of, which in the budget papers is not for publication? Why would you How do we come up with this idea that they're really cheap,
Secret capacity
but we've got to give them a
investment scheme.
secret...
So is there a line item in the budget?
Capacity investment schemes.
Right. So
No, they're not.
how much are they worth?
Go through your budget papers. Well, that's your job, Laura. Get Mr. Bowen up here and ask him to tell you how much the capacity
He doesn't like to come on my show anymore.
Just because, you're the fourth estate. Why do you let them get away with this?
We don't. We absolutely don't, especially here. You know that.
Well, find out. Ask them the questions. Why do you need secret agreements? Say, we believe the return is somewhere in the vicinity between 10 and 18%.
But the point is, Barnaby,
but you don't see it, we don't see it,
energy
and then on the
system is
budget
a
papers.
complete mess. Whichever way you turn from here, it's going to cost taxpayers more. Do you accept that?
Yes, but we've stuffed it up. I accept that. We've absolutely butchered it, and you've butchered it by going down the intermittent power process. You used to have the cheapest power in the world. With those evil coal-fired power stations, you just have really cheap, reliable power. Now you've got really unreliable, hellishly expensive power, and it's on the premise of you trying to achieve this ludicrous idea that Australia, in the minority of the globe, can somehow change droughts, change cyclones, reduce the extinction of species, because Australia's going to change the temperature of the weather.
So do you not worry about emissions at all?
It is insane.
You don't worry about emissions at all? You don't think that's a contributor to climate change?
I worry about pollution, but I don't think... See, this is this sort of faux virtue that you believe... See, on the premise of what? That do you honestly believe in the minority of the economy of the globe that we are actually going to change the weather? That's insane. That is certifiably insane.
On that note, we're way past the break time, so it's always good to have you on the show. We'll get you back. See you soon.